Hello everyone, welcome to my channel BMB Gossip 24. The bold and the beautiful spoilers hint that Steffy Forrester may say 5 words to Liam Spencer and Hope Logan as she offers this response to their romantic reunion. Steffy's comeback is rapidly approaching, so it's time to start thinking about all the updates she'll receive once she's back in Los Angeles. Of course, John Finnegan will have plenty of shocking Luna Nozawa news to deliver. However, we want to focus on some other LA developments for a moment. Steffy will obviously have a chance to react to Hope's line being reinstated and will no doubt weigh in on Hope's split from Carter Walton too. Since Liam wants to reunite with Hope and get their family with Beth Spencer back on track, he's hoping her breakup from Carter will give them a chance to do just that. How will Steffy feel about Liam and Hope heading down this reunion road? Steffy always has an opinion on Liam's love life, so this time should be no different once she's finally back in the LA mix. At some point, BMB spoilers say Steffy will hear about Liam's latest pursuit of Hope and may assume Hope wants him just as much due to her broken Carter engagement. Hope and Liam always seem to end up back together eventually, so Steffy may not be too surprised. That said, Steffy may be protective of Liam's heart and maybe even Hope's heart as well, since they managed to bond when they thought Liam was dying. Liam and Hope both hurt each other with bad choices in the past, but Steffy may ultimately urge them to put all that drama in the rearview mirror. If Hope and Liam are going to build a lasting romance, they have to learn to trust each other again and put in some real effort. That brings us to the 5 words Steffy may offer to Liam and Hope as they kick off the next phase of their romantic journey. Get it right this time. The bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest Steffy may give Hope and Liam a warning about not causing each other any more pain, so stay tuned. Hope's fashion funk. The morning sun crept through the tall windows of Forrester Creations, scattering gold light across bolts of silken sketches taped along the design studio wall. But despite the beauty around her, Hope Logan sat at her drafting table, staring at a blank page. The lines wouldn't come. The color palettes felt dull. Even the familiar rhythm of her pencil tapping against the desk felt lifeless. Hope for the future, once her proudest creation, had stalled. She'd been told to reignite her brand. To make it bolder, younger, sexier. But right now, she couldn't even find inspiration to design a single dress. Her assistant poked in, carrying a coffee. Assistant, morning, Hope. Ridge wanted to know if you'll have the fall preview ready by Friday. Hope, smiling weakly, tell Ridge I'm perfecting perfection. Assistant, grinning, so, that's a no? Hope, sighs, that's a not yet. When the door closed, Hope let her facade crumble. She buried her face in her hands. Hope, softly, maybe the world's moved on from Hope for the future. Little did she know, inspiration was already on its way, from the most unexpected source imaginable. Deke's secret portfolio. Across town, at Illinois Giardino, Deke and Deke Sharp leaned over a small portfolio, flipping through sketches. They weren't his, not entirely. But they were his to show. A mysterious young designer from Paris, someone who'd reached out to him after seeing Hope's old campaigns, had sent him a collection that screamed innovation. It was edgy, rebellious, emotionally charged. Exactly what Hope's brand needed. Deacon took a sip of espresso and smiled to himself. Deke, if I can get these designs into Forrester, Hope will thank me forever. He knew Ridge and Brooke wouldn't want him anywhere near the company again. But this wasn't about them, this was about his daughter. Still, there was a problem. The designer's identity was a secret. They'd only signed their work EV. Whoever they were, Deke felt they were sitting on gold, and he was about to cash it in. An unexpected reunion. Later that afternoon, Hope stepped out of her office for air. That's when she saw him, standing in the Forrester lobby, holding a garment bag and a mischievous grin. Hope, Dad? What are you doing here? Deke, trying not to get escorted out before I change your life. Hope crossed her arms. Hope, you promised you wouldn't mix business and family again. Deke, grinning, yeah, and you promised you'd call more often. Looks like we both broke a rule. She sighed, but curiosity flickered in her eyes. Hope, what is that? He opened the garment bag. Inside was a breathtaking gown, layered chiffon in smoky rose and champagne hues, accented with metallic thread that caught the light like stars. Hope, breathless, oh my God. Who designed this? Deke, someone who believes in you. Hope reached out, fingers trembling as she touched the fabric. Hope, It's perfect. It's exactly what I've been searching for. Deke, then let me help you bring it to the runway. Rose Part 4, The Forrester Fight. The reaction in the Forrester boardroom was volcanic. Ridge Forrester stood at the head of the table, arms folded. Brooke hovered behind him, her eyes darting between her ex and her daughter. Ridge, let me get this straight. Deacon walks into our building with a dress from an unknown designer and you want to make it the centerpiece of your new line. Hope, firmly yes. It's bold. It's different. It could save Hope for the future. Ridge, snapping, or destroy it if this turns into one of Deacon's little scams. Deke, defensive, hey, easy, Ridge. I'm not selling knockoffs here. This is real talent. Brooke, nervously, Deacon, where did you get this? Deke, confidential. The designer wants to stay anonymous until the collection launches. Ridge, then it's a no. I don't do business with ghosts. Hope slammed her sketchbook closed. Hope, fine. Then I'll do it myself. Off the books. The room fell silent. Brooke stepped forward, concern softening her tone. Brooke, honey, please don't make this about your father. You've worked too hard. Hope, this isn't about Dad. It's about believing in something again. As she stormed out, Deacon followed, pride flickering in his eyes. Deke, you'll thank me when Hope's name is back in lights. That night, Hope worked alone under the glow of her desk lamp. The mystery dress hung on a mannequin nearby, haunting, beautiful, alive. She studied the stitching, the seams, the way each fold whispered confidence and pain. Then she noticed something, a tiny signature, hidden along the hem, EV. She traced it with her fingertip. Hope, whispering, who are you? Curiosity turned to obsession. She started digging. Old design registries. Paris showcases. A few obscure mentions online about a reclusive designer named Elena Vasari, a prodigy who'd vanished from the fashion world years ago after a scandal involving stolen sketches. The deeper Hope looked, the more intrigued she became. And when she found a photo of Elena, she froze. Elena Vasari looked familiar. Almost too familiar. Hope's pulse quickened. Hope, to herself, it can't be. The next morning, Hope showed the photo to her father. Hope, Dad, is this her? Is this the designer you've been working with? Deke, hesitating, where'd you find that? Hope, so it is her. He rubbed the back of his neck, sighing. Deke, she didn't want me to tell anyone, Hope. Elena's complicated. Hope, complicated how? Deke, she's Sheila Carter's niece. Hope's stomach dropped. Hope, you're kidding. Deke, no joke. She's trying to rebuild her life. She swore she's not like Sheila. Hope turned away, shaken. Hope, if Forrester finds out, they'll shut this down before I can even show the first dress. Deke, then we don't tell them. Not yet. She stared at her father, torn between trust and fear. Hope, you're asking me to lie to Ridge. To my mother. Deke, I'm asking you to take a leap of faith, like a real designer would. And against every instinct screaming no, she said. Hope, all right, Dad. Let's do this. Days later, Hope held a secret fashion showing in the old Forrester studio, a private, invite-only event for influencers and select media. As lights dimmed and soft music began, models floated down the runway wearing Elena Vasari's designs, fierce silhouettes, romantic drapes, unconventional pairings of leather and lace. Every audience member was spellbound. When the show ended, the applause was deafening. Ridge, who had shown up uninvited, stood at the back, stunned. Ridge, quietly, to Brooke, that was brilliant. Brooke, beaming, that's our daughter. Hope stepped forward, tears in her eyes. Hope, thank you, everyone. This collection represents courage, and the beauty of second chances. But as she turned to step off the stage, a familiar voice echoed from the doorway. Voice, then maybe I deserve one too. All heads turned, and there stood Elena Vasari, dressed in black, her face half hidden by shadow. The room erupted. Ridge, furious, you brought her designs into Forrester? After everything Sheila's done. Hope, Ridge, please, Elena isn't Sheila. Ridge, they share blood. That's enough. Elena stepped forward, voice trembling but strong. Elena, I never wanted to hurt anyone. I just wanted a chance to prove I'm more than my aunt's mistakes. Deacon placed a hand on her shoulder. Deke, she's the real deal, Ridge. Give her that. Ridge glared. Ridge, you lied. Both of you. Hope, we took a risk. Isn't that what fashion's about? Brooke stepped between them, eyes glassy with emotion. Brooke, Ridge, maybe we can separate the art from the artist. For once. After a long silence, Ridge finally sighed. Ridge, you've got talent, Hope. But next time, tell me the truth. A week later, Hope and Elena sat together in the design studio, surrounded by sketches and fabric swatches. Elena, I should be thanking you for this chance. Hope, smiling no. Thank my dad. He believed in us both. Deacon entered, holding a glass of sparkling cider. Deke, to new beginnings, and bold moves. They clinked glasses. Outside the office, Brooke watched them through the glass, and for once, her expression wasn't judgmental, but proud. She turned to Ridge. Brooke, maybe Hope's not just following her dream, maybe she's leading it. Ridge chuckled softly. Ridge, just like her mother. Glowing star epilogue. The amazing discovery. Later that night, Hope went through the leftover sketches in the portfolio. One page stuck out, hidden beneath the rest. She pulled it free and gasped. It wasn't a dress. It was a portrait, a sketch of Hope herself, signed not just E.V., but E.V. Logan. Her breath caught. Hope, whispering Logan. The truth dawned slowly. Elena Vasari wasn't just Sheila's niece, she was connected to Hope's own family by marriage long ago, through a forgotten Logan relative who had married into the Carter bloodline. Their collaboration wasn't random. It was destiny. Deacon Sharp stood behind the bar, wiping down the counter that had seen everything. Laughter, confessions, heartbreak. But this morning, something was different. The man in the mirror didn't look like a bartender anymore. He looked like someone on the edge of something big. Deke, thinking I've cleaned glasses long enough. Time to build something of my own. Business at the restaurant had been steady, especially after the buzz around Sheila Carter's mysterious disappearance weeks ago. Some said she'd left town for good. Others whispered she was lurking somewhere nearby, watching. Deacon didn't know which to believe, and for once, he didn't care. His focus was on himself now. He'd helped Hope's fashion come back. He'd earned Brooke's tentative respect. He'd even stood up to Ridge and lived to tell the tale. But this next move, would define him. He reached into his pocket, pulling out a folded envelope stamped with the Forrester Creations logo. Inside, a contract. A proposal that could change everything. Briefcase Part 2, the business proposal. Hours later, at Forrester Creations, Hope Logan stepped into her office to find her father waiting. Hope, startled Dad? I thought you were at Illinois Giardino. Deke, smiling I was. But now I'm here, making my next big move. He handed her the envelope. Hope, what's this? Deke, a proposal. I want to partner with Forrester Creations. Bring in investors. Open a restaurant fashion crossover venture. Hope blinked. Hope, a restaurant fashion, what now? Deke, grinning think pop-up shows at Illinois Giardino. Models in the courtyard. Themed menus inspired by the collection. Fashion meets fine dining. Forrester glamour meets Italian flavor. Hope's eyes lit up. For a moment, she saw the potential. Bold, modern, daring. But then she hesitated. Hope, Dad, you know Ridge isn't going to go for this. He barely tolerates you in the building. Deke, then I'll make him see the numbers before he sees me. There was that spark again, the old Deacon charm mixed with unexpected confidence. Hope, smiling softly, you really think this could work? Deke, Hope, this will work. Because I'm done being the man everyone doubts. He leaned in, eyes glinting. Deke, this time, I'm betting on myself. Rose Part 3, The Forrester Showdown. Later that afternoon, Deacon stood in the boardroom once again, the same room that had rejected him countless times. Across the table sat Ridge, Brooke, and Steffy, all flipping through copies of his proposal. Ridge, flatly, so you want to turn my designs into dinner entertainment? Deke, not entertainment, experience. Imagine a couture-themed dining night. A fashion meets culture event. The kind of thing that goes viral. Steffy, skeptical, and what's in it for you? Deke, partnership. A fair cut of profits. I provide the venue and culinary side, Forrester provides the brand. Brooke studied him, a hint of pride flickering in her expression. Brooke, you've clearly thought this through. Deke, I've been thinking about my future, Brooke. For a long time. Ridge closed the folder, leaning back in his chair. Ridge, you've got guts, sharp. I'll give you that. But Forrester doesn't mix fashion with food. Deke, grinning, maybe it's time you start. You want a new audience, right? Younger, trendier? This is it. Steffi frowned but didn't dismiss him outright. Steffi, you know, there's something to be said for live events that feel immersive. We've been trying to modernize our outreach. Ridge shot her a look. Ridge, you're not seriously considering this. Steffi, I'm saying it's interesting. Brooke turned to Ridge. Brooke, he's trying, Ridge. Maybe we should give him that. Deacon's heart pounded. For once, he wasn't begging. He was pitching, and they were listening. Candle Hash Part 4, Lunch with Brooke. After the meeting, Brooke followed Deacon to the terrace outside the building. Brooke, you handled yourself well in there. Deke, you mean I didn't punch Ridge? Brooke, laughing, something like that. They shared a quiet moment, gazing at the skyline. Deke, I've made a lot of mistakes, Brooke. But I'm trying to build something real. Not just for me, for Hope, too. Brooke, you've come a long way. Her tone softened, nostalgic, even. Brooke, I remember when you couldn't walk into a room without starting a scandal. Deke, hey, old habits die hard. They both laughed, but something deeper shimmered beneath the surface, a flicker of old chemistry that never truly faded. Brooke touched his hand gently. Brooke, just be careful, Deacon. Ambition can be dangerous, especially in this town. Deke, danger's half the fun. He meant it as a joke, but her eyes stayed serious. Fire Part 5, An Unexpected Visitor. That evening, Deacon returned to Illinois Giardino, high on adrenaline from his meeting. He poured himself a drink and smiled. Then, a shadow fell over the bar. Voice, low, you really think you can outrun your past, Deacon? His hand froze around the glass. He turned, and his breath caught. Sheila Carter stood before him. Alive. Smirking. Dangerous. Deke, you're supposed to be gone. Sheila, oh, sweetheart, you should know by now, I never really go away. She slid onto a stool, crossing her legs like she owned the place. Sheila, heard about your little pitch to Forrester. Impressive. Almost makes you sound respectable. Deke, stay out of it, Sheila. Sheila, pouting, is that any way to talk to the woman who kept your secrets? Deacon's jaw tightened. Deke, you kept my secrets because you needed me. Not out of love. Sheila, maybe. But part of you loved me back. He turned away, voice low. Deke, not anymore. She laughed softly, chillingly. Sheila, oh, Deacon. You can dress up ambition all you want. But men like you, men like us, we don't get new lives. Just new lies. And with that, she was gone, leaving only her perfume and a trail of unease behind. Waxing Crescent Moon Part 6, The Choice. That night, Hope called. Hope, on phone, Dad, I heard about Sheila. Are you okay? Deke, yeah. She's gone. I'm fine. Hope, are you sure? I know what she meant to you. Deke, she's my past, Hope. You're my future. After hanging up, Deacon looked around his restaurant, his creation, his sanctuary, and realized Sheila was right about one thing. People like him rarely got clean slates. But maybe he could be the exception. He sat down at a table, pulled out his phone, and sent Ridge a message. Deke, texting final offer, 1-week test event at Illinois Giardino. No risk to Forrester. If it flops, I walk away. If it works, we talk partnership. He hit send before he could talk himself out of it. For a moment, he felt free. Sun with Rays # Part 7, the event. Days later, the courtyard at Illinois Giardino was transformed. Twinkling lights. Silk banners bearing the Forrester logo. Tables arranged around a small runway. A live quartet played as waiters moved between tables carrying champagne and handmade pasta. Hope's collection shimmered under spotlights, the perfect blend of artistry and emotion. Deacon watched from the bar, eyes wet. It was everything he'd imagined, and more. Ridge and Brooke sat front row. Even Steffi cracked a smile. Brooke, to Ridge, you have to admit, it's stunning. Ridge, grudgingly, it's something. When the final model stepped off the runway, Hope grabbed the mic. Hope, this night wouldn't exist without my father. He believed in something no one else saw. And he made us believe, too. The audience erupted in applause. Deacon's throat tightened. For once, he wasn't the screw-up. He was the success story. Explosion symbol part 8. The future revealed. After the show, Ridge approached him. Ridge, all right, sharp. You proved me wrong. Deke, grinning, you want that in writing. Ridge, don't push it. But then Ridge extended his hand. Ridge, let's talk partnership. Brooke smiled from behind them. Hope threw her arms around her dad, whispering, Hope, I'm proud of you. For Deacon Sharp, the words hit harder than any applause. He had built something real, something his daughter could believe in.